Growing up, I started dozens of businesses, trying to make money any way that I possibly could, working and testing every single hour of the day. And the goal is to fill up my bank account just enough so I can take that cash and use it to start the next side hustle. Today, in 2025, the world has completely changed. There are now so many ways to create more income and make over $1,000 a day with purely side hustles. In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down 5 side hustle blueprints that can easily take you to over $1,000 a day or over $350,000 a year in income. And this can all be done without quitting your job. For each one, you'll get the startup costs, skill curve, and my personal hack to scale it past $1,000 a day. If you ignore these and nothing changes, you're gonna keep trading your time for money while inflation erodes your paycheck. But if you master just one of these side hustles, it can be a way to stop trading your time for money and finally achieve financial freedom. And coming up, I never thought you could make money online selling spicy content without showing your body, but you can. Side hustle number 1 is being a content clipper. And this is a huge thing in 2025, and people all the way from 10 years old, 12 years old, all the way to 30 years old are called clippers. And essentially what a clipper does is they go and find influencers, creators online that they're willing to pay them to take their content, cut it up into shorter content, and post it online. Whether it's on their page or creating new pages, but they will actually get paid for taking content, cutting it up, posting it on different pages, and getting paid per view. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can actually find these content creators. One of them is called WHOP, WHOP.com. You can go there, you can make an account, you can sign up as a clipper, and you can go and find these different influencers that already have everything set up, they already have a budget in place. You can take their content, cut it up, post it across the internet, and get paid per view. Now, the great thing about this is that there's no startup cost at all. All you need is probably a phone or a computer. You need to have access to WHOP, you need to make a Gmail account or an email account. You need to go in there, make an account, and you can do everything pretty much for free so long as you actually have the phone or computer that is required to do it. The second thing you're gonna need is just the skill of editing, but that's just gonna take time, right? It doesn't cost you anything to take their content, try to edit it. It doesn't work out. You can just get better and better and better over time. You can also go to YouTube University and start learning how to edit content and create short form content online. Now, this is also a very important skill, because if you can learn this skill, it is gonna allow you to do marketing, create your own brand, create your own business, create a personal brand for yourself in the future. So this is a very important skill that is not just gonna help you make immediate cash, but can also help you into the future. Now, with me just exploring WHOP, what I found is that for every 1,000 views, you can make around $1. So you can do the math on how many views you have to get on some of these videos and some of this content to make a certain amount of money. But if you look on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you can find a lot of these people, a lot of clippers that are doing a really good job, are making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. And a lot of YouTube streamers are paying $200,000, $300,000 a month for clippers to take their content, post it online as short form. Side hustle number 2 is community management. Now, in the age of 2025, every single personal brand and business and influencer and club has some sort of online community, online group, online this, online that. And the downside of having a community is that you need some sort of community management, and that is the perfect opportunity for you. So what I would do is look at your Facebook, look at your Instagram, look at your Discord. What communities are you a part of already? Are you around the moms who cook at home community? Are you a teenager and you're like the skateboarding community of your city? Are you part of this gaming community, sports community, whatever community that you are a part of? And you're gonna go to the owner of the community and you're gonna reach out to them to do community management. What that means is you're gonna moderate everything that's being posted in the community. You're gonna reach out if people need help. You're gonna answer their questions. You're just gonna be a helpful member of the community. And these community managers can actually pay you pretty well, because they don't really have many people waving their hands in the air saying, hey, pay me to help moderate the community, right? The downside of a lot of these communities is that some of them are pretty much dead. They have a lot of people posting, but they don't have anybody from their side answering questions, engaging the community, and that can be your role. To actually go in there about something you already know, already like, a community you're already a part of, and your goal is to kind of get that community and vitalized, come up with different ideas to get the community together as part of your community management. Now, typically what we've seen that what we've paid for actual community managers is starting at a couple $100s per month. So you can make a couple $100s per month just by doing the community management for a community that you're already part of. But where it gets a little bit creative, and where I want you to kind of get a little bit creative once you have that recurring revenue coming in, sometimes some communities host weekly calls, daily calls, training calls. I want you to reach out and be like, hey, owner of the community, I can run those calls for you. Let me run those calls. I'm gonna run an additional call, right? The other thing is I want you to start coming up with different upsell ideas for that community. So if you had to pay to join that community, or whether it was free, again, I want you to reach out to community management and be like, hey, I'm noticing this same question 100 times. Can we offer one-on-one calls for people to get on with you? Can we offer this? Can we offer that? Come up with different upsell ideas to upsell the people that are already in the community, different one-on-one packages, support, a premium community level, in-person events. There's so many different ways, and you can go to the owner of it, come up with the idea and say, hey, let's split the profit down the middle. We're gonna do events, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. And that can be a way you can increase that. But just to be part of the community management is the first point of leverage to get a little bit of money in the door. And then from there, you can continue to scale it. And hell, it was already a community that you're part of to begin with. Number 3, a remote high ticket closer. I absolutely love this one. Boy or girl, 18 or older. I really, really do love this idea of being a high ticket closer. So for me and my businesses, martelturnkey.com, flipsystem.com, even the real estate fund, redbrickequity.com, we have high ticket closers for all of these businesses. Now, all these different businesses have their own pricing, right? So some of them are a couple $1,000s, some of them are $20,000. It really depends on the business. But a remote high ticket closer, you work remote, you sit on your computer all day, and you have leads coming in from the business. You have a script that you memorize. You do a lot of training on objection handling, discovery, pitching, all that kind of stuff. You just have to have a lot of confidence about the product, learn about the product, all that kind of stuff. But you're pretty much a sales rep for this business. Now, the downside to this role is that it's typically commission only. So typically you're going to be stacked with meetings on Zoom or on the phone from 9 to 5, from 8 to 6, whatever the case may be. You're going to be on phone calls all day long trying to get money in the door for the business. Typically, the way that you make money is you make money on cash collected. So cash is king in this business. You're going to collect hopefully 80 to 100% of every single deal that comes through, depending on the price tag. But for example, let's say you were selling a $5,000 thing. You would typically make 10 to 12% of that money, the cash that you collect. So if you sell a $5,000 thing, you would make $500. That means to make $1,000 a day, we would just have to sell 2 of those. Obviously, with the weekends and stuff, probably have to sell 2.5 or 2.2, but you get the point. You don't get any kind of base, you're commission only, and you try to close as many people as you possibly can. But what we've seen for close rates in this kind of range is around 15 to 20%. So 1 of every 5 calls that shows up, you should be a sale. So long as you can fit around 10 calls into your calendar and all of those appointments were to show up, you can be making close to $1,000 a day by being a high ticket remote closer. Next steps for this is really to go and find like a coach or a mentor that has some sort of program around this. There's a lot of great ones out there. There's also a lot of bad ones. So you might have to join a couple of these programs if you have a little bit of cash to invest. But this is a really, really great way to learn another amazing skill. So the clipping is a great skill, but also being a salesperson is probably one of the best skills. Gary Vee started with sales. Alex Hormozy started with sales. Grant Cardone started with sales. There's all these big mentors and big gurus in the space that all started with sales, and sales, especially if you're young, is probably one of the best skills that you can learn. All right, side hustle number 4, and this one's a little bit spicy. This one is building an AI influencer. Now there's 2 ways to do this. You can do the XXX version, the NSFW, or you can do the G-rated version that everybody can see. Now, this is something that's very, very new to 2025, but there's so many different programs out there today that allow you to go and create your own AI influencer. And I just think over the next 3 to 5 years, we're gonna see a lot more of these AI influencers popping around. And I think there's gonna be a huge market for it. For one, if it's just G-rated content, to just have like some sort of AI influencer that does certain things, or they're beautiful, or they're attractive, or they're athletic, or they're teaching something, they're educating something, or the OnlyFans version where you can actually make spicy content with AI. There's different tools that you're gonna need in order to make this spicy content, but creating AI influencers and then trying to monetize those. Obviously for the OnlyFans, it's easy because you're just gonna make an account, create your AI influencer, create some spicy content with that influencer and sell that content. Now, if you're making just Instagram or TikTok or YouTube videos with your AI influencer, it's gonna be a little bit more challenging. You're first gonna have to just focus on followers and growth, and then eventually you can get brand deals with different products for your AI influencer to post. But I think that there's a lot of growth that can happen in the AI influencer space over the next 3 to 5 years. I think there's just gonna be be a huge market for it. There's going to be a lot of brand deals that want to partner up with large AI influencers. And if you can get in early on the AI influencer space, I think you're going to be well ahead of everybody else and really be set up in the next 12 or 24 months when we see a ton more AI influencers come about. Now, another way to scale is by actually making multiple different accounts. Now, you don't want to go balls in on just one influencer, whether it's, clean content or explicit content. I would try to make a couple different influencers, like different ages, different ethnicities, just to connect with different people and just have them make very similar content. But it's going to be pretty much the same amount of work to have 3 different AI influencers versus just one. So I would probably make a couple of them and just see which one hits. So again, just my 2 cents, if you were going to go down this path of making an AI influencer, make a couple of them, test some of them out, because I guarantee you one of them is going to pop and it's really going to connect with a certain demographic, a certain type of people around the world, ethnicity, etc. So I would heavily look into building an AI influencer, and you could do it for a relatively low amount of money, a couple $100s a month to get some of these softwares to build an AI influencer. Side hustle number 5 is selling stuff to friends and family and those around you. All right, so this one I have probably the most amount of experience with. This is something I've been doing since I was 8 years old. The thing I want you to think about is like, you are your best market. You know the most about your friends and your family, what they're buying, what's popular in your neighborhood, what's popular online, what's popular for your age demographic. What are kids buying at school if you still go to school? What are people at your work buying or selling or trading, or what are they investing in, right? And how can we go and get a part of that money trail, right? Because what I've noticed growing up and when I was a kid selling stuff to friends and family and all this kind of stuff is I noticed these trends. Like, there was these Huff socks, which were like these weed socks. They would come and go in 3 months. Had this huge demand curve, and then everyone would get them, and then they would sell. And then it was like Converse got super popular because Wiz Khalifa came out, and then the Converse, went down. And then these like Last King's hat were super popular. Everyone bought one, and then it went away. So there's these trends, and I want you to be like a trend tracker, a trend noticer in your community. And I want you to notice what people are buying. Oh, everyone's getting this, everyone's getting this, everyone's getting that. Like, what I would do is I would go to Alibaba.com and I would try to find the manufacturer of such product or of a knockoff of that product, something that maybe didn't have the brand name, right? So like Huff socks, right? It was just like a sock with like that had a cannabis logo on it. Super popular, selling at $25 at Zoomies. I would import the same exact thing from China for $3 or $2, and I would sell it for $8 at school. So to the kid at school, he's like $25 versus $8. Cool, that's gonna be way easier for me to ask my mom for $8 versus $25. I can get the socks I want, or I can get 2 pairs of socks. Right? I want you to think about that. Like, look at your friends, look at what they're buying, and figure out a way that you can maybe import some stuff, customize it, tweak it a little bit, notice what people are saying, notice what you're buying personally, put that stuff in your car, put it in your backpack, post it on your social media. Hey, I got 20 extra pair of Huff socks. Who wants to buy some? DM me. Especially around Christmas time, this is a great way to make some additional money. So this is gonna be way more of a trend watching thing. At some points, you're gonna notice no trends at all. Other times, there's gonna be so many trends going on, and you'll eventually get the hang of it to where you'll constantly have stuff at your house and an inventory that you wanna sell to your friends and family for presents or birthday or gifts or different things like that. So this is the one I have the most amount of experience with. I've made thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars selling different things to my community members, and I think it's a great one. Thanks so much for staying till the end of the video. I hope you take some of these side hustles and implement just one. Even if it could just be a learning experience for you to take this side hustle and try to make an extra $100, I think you're gonna learn so much about yourself. Forget the money, right? We wanna learn skills. And if you are watching this video, it's because you don't have the skill of making money. And the skill of making money is a skill, okay? It doesn't matter. So I want you to go out there and test one of these ideas. Test one of these ideas so you can start massaging that skill of making money. And then you can move on to other things that you may like, or starting your own business, or getting out of that 9-to-5 job, or if you're in school, making extra money on the weekends, right? There's so many different ways to make money. These are just a couple of ideas that I would implement if I was you. But the most important thing is to just go out there and take action. So please like and subscribe to the channel, and also please take action on at least one of these ideas. See you in the next one.